Alright guys, welcome back to The Fan's Perspective. Another week of comic book awesomeness. I'm Double A Ron.
This is Westicles.
Juicebox.
And Uber Bulge.
We are going to do another top 10 for you today. Yay, top 10s! I love top 10s. Easiest fucking podcast
They are the easiest
in
ones.
the world because I don't have to think of shit to talk about. I don't have to
do no
worry.
research.
I don't have to worry about the news telling me shit to tell you guys. I don't have to do any of that shit. I get to just purely base it
We
off
just
my
get
own.
to give you the fans' perspective on who we like best.
My own personal shit. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This is our top 10 heroes, but top 10 heroes in a sense of our favorites.
Not best, not like
Because-
who's going to kick the most ass.
Those are two different lists for me.
Yep.
Top 10 heroes based on favorite and then top 10 heroes based on merit are two different things for me. And I think that's the same thing for everybody else here. So this is our top 10 favorite superheroes alone. And maybe not even just superheroes, just heroes in general. But, you know, obviously, considering it's a comic book podcast, limited to comics. So we're going to start off with number 10, and we'll go with Westicles. You'll start us off.
Alright, well, let's see. My number 10. Gonna bring that list right back up. There it is. My number 10 is Deadpool. Merc with a mouth. He's funny. He's got depth. He's awesome. He can kill the whole Marvel Universe as we've seen.
They really,
I love him.
I'll tell you
I
what,
love him.
man, in the short amount of time, they've really given him a shit ton of depth.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah, he's only
They
been around
really-
since, like, what, early 90s?
Yeah, like 1991, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not very long in the comic book realm.
And he's largely considered to be one of the funniest comic book characters, but for having that title, he's still got a lot of depth to
Yeah,
him.
he's got a lot of storyline built
Yeah.
into his character.
He does.
Yeah, he's tragic, he's interesting, and he's a better person than people think when they first think of Deadpool.
Right.
He's came a long way since they introduced him. That's
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because originally he really was just like the heartless mercenary
Yeah.
for about 6 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you Juicebox, you got 10.
I have Huntress. Specifically the Helena Bertinelli Huntress, though. I don't
All right.
really
As
care
in the
much.
Earth 2 one?
No, that's the original.
Oh, my mistake.
The
Okay,
Earth
yeah,
2
that's
one's
right.
the Helena Wayne. I
Yeah.
mean, she's great too, but I prefer the Helena Bertinelli one just because, I mean, she almost has the same backstory as Batman, where her parents were murdered. Except
Yeah.
for her parents, were mobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's taken out the mob.
She's
And
a lot
whereas-
more intense with her vengeance,
yeah,
too.
where Batman won't kill, she will.
Yeah.
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 Got no problems.
Yeah.
She's very Red Hood
Mm-hmm.
in vindictive.
But she was almost on my top
Murdery.
10 as well, but...
But, yeah, Huntress is
She's a good character.
she's good. You know, that's
Yeah,
not
and
somebody...
she's one of those people who, disagrees with Batman pretty openly and will tell him and will,
Right.
get in his face and not
Yeah.
think twice about it.
But still
Of course.
has his back in the big stuff.
Of
Exactly.
course, also, you know, as in most people, when they tell Batman off, they're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
very typically.
so-
Yeah.
And she's not all the time, I'll give her that, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's just her blowing off steam.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't really fuck with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
No, it's
When
true.
it comes to, especially logically thinking,
Yeah.
you can't really touch him. But, I do like her. She's a good character, and she's not one of those people, not one of those heroes or anything that people think about. But once you read up on her, man, I've yet to have anybody, actually read up on her and then be like, yeah, I still don't like her.
Yeah.
She's a worthwhile member of, well, I guess you could call her an extended family member of the Bat family.
She's,
She-
she's a
yeah.
compelling
She's
character.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
But you bulge?
For me, my number 10 is Howard the Duck. And I know it's loose. It's a very loose interpretation of a
Still,
hero.
he's classically funny. He's weird. He's out there. He's
Yeah.
fun.
Hey, he helped
Howard.
save the day during Fear itself.
That's
Yeah,
just
He
true.
did. He did help.
Yeah.
You can't deny.
And
I mean, they had Man-Thing going crazy in the city, feeding off everybody's fear. He stopped it.
yeah.
So,
And recently, he's even seen his own series resurge.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like Howard the Duck.
I do too,
Guardians
man.
of the
It's a
Galaxy
fun
went
series.
a long way to researching his
Yeah, that
popularity.
brief 10 seconds of Seth Green voice, or not even 10 seconds, that one line
Yeah.
with Seth Green.
I like how they
worked
gave
wonders.
him the drink.
Yeah, to swirl
I
the
thought that was
martini.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
thought it was nice. My number 10 is Spawn.
That's a
Good choice.
Yeah.
Simmons
You
is
know,
awesome.
he's only 10 because this is favorites. You know, but I'd be remiss if he was not on my top 10 because that is one of the most awesome characters I've ever read.
Yep.
If not he might be just a little too OP. Like,
Mm-hmm.
There's some interesting lore
Insanely.
for it, but nonetheless, yeah.
Yeah.
but as far as story is concerned, as far as it that character grasped me from the second I started reading
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and didn't let go.
Yeah.
And I can't ask for anything more.
Yeah.
But it's just you feel for Simmons, man.
You do.
You do.
You got
just-
a raw fucking
Yeah,
deal.
he got
Yeah.
a fucking shitty deal.
I rarely enjoy the militaristic heroes
right.
all that much. Speaking of that, like, Green Lantern, John Stewart to me is the worst one because he's too militaristic.
I agree.
But with Al Simmons, it works. They bring up the right amount of endearment in his character.
Right.
He's not too adherent to
Yeah.
the rules, quote unquote, and he's really intent on getting what needs to be done.
Not to mention Michael J. White.
Yeah,
Nope. Yeah.
excellent way of doing it.
Yeah, but I just, that character just, like I said, it just latched on, and it takes a special character to keep me reading.
Absolutely,
And I wanted to know what happened to Simmons. I wanted to know what was going to M.
he's a compelling
Some
story.
of the shit later on even made me go, like, seriously?
Yeah,
Like, and-
man killed God and the devil themselves.
Yeah,
It's-
because he didn't feel like they were doing their jobs or
they
whatever.
weren't.
It's fucked up.
They
Like,
weren't
it's-
doing their jobs right, so
it's
he
just-
put them out.
It's just fucked up. Like, but yeah, he's on my top 10. He's one of my favorite characters to read. One of my favorite characters to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All around a stand-up guy.
Still very excited for the new Spawn movie
Yeah.
Yes.
that they're working on. Todd McFarlane's shopping that around.
Yeah,
Yep.
he is.
Yep.
I just don't know who the hell they would get to replace,
John Leguizamo
Leguizamo.
or Michael J.
Yeah,
White.
exactly.
Yeah, either one of them. They're practically
they're
perfect
irreplaceable.
for the part.
Michael J. White still kicking, bro.
I think he's even fucking buffer now than he was then.
He
Yeah,
was,
he
and I can
most
hope
definitely
he would
is.
reprise. It'd be amazing if he could reprise.
Boy, that'd be an awesome guest for Villains.
Listen, there's no reason not to. Okay, McFarlane, get on that shit. Michael J. White. Fuck for president, Michael J. White for Spawn, 2015.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Start the
Yes.
campaign now.
Kickstart that.
Who do you got for number 9?
My number 9 is Spawn.
Right. Nothing really more to say there.
Yeah.
Michael J. White. I'm gonna cheat
Gotta get
plug
that
that
last
every
one in.
time.
Alright, so we
Number
you know?
number 9.
I got Wonder Woman.
Awesome choice.
Good old WW.
I don't know. New 52 has went a long way to making me love
Which
Wonder
apparently I need to read.
Her
Woman.
new
Same here.
52
When you
run
got Wonder
is
Woman
Mm.
teaming up with Batwoman,
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
Killer Croc, who has turned into a fucking Hydra,
It was awesome.
in the middle of fucking...
In the middle of Gotham, those two wreaking
Yeah.
havoc on
And-
supernatural creatures.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I think
Medusa's
we
behind all
definitely
of
need to
it.
read that.
Yeah,
It's
you
amazing.
do. That one was in, that part was in the Batwoman run, which also masterful.
Yeah, but then,
But
Wonder Woman becoming
Wonder Woman,
God of War.
Yeah,
and-
it's her
Well, I have
taking
every
down the
intention.
Greek pantheon.
I have every intention of reading the new 52s. I just
It's-
haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, not to
Wonderful.
mention I have the fucking library living right next door to me, so.
Yeah,
yeah.
true, true.
Right. Who do you got, Jeff? Number 9.
My number 9 is Storm. Aurora Monroe.
Storm.
Interesting choice.
I like
Good
Storm.
Gotta
choice.
tell you,
I've always liked Storm.
gotta tell you, didn't even cross my mind
It
to
didn't
put
either.
on my list.
Powerful female choice.
She's always
awesome.
been one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's one that doesn't, even though her role in the Marvel Universe is rather large,
Yes.
she never gets the attention that she deserves.
Um,
As far as I
I understand. She's had a couple of miniseries and such,
Yeah.
but she's usually most on display as an X-Man
Yeah.
or woman.
Yeah.
Still,
No.
But
she,
I
and-
enjoy it.
or as practically an Avenger, starring as Black Panther's wife.
We are not
Exactly.
doing this shit. There's no political correctness bullshit. She is an X-Man.
That's
The
true.
team is called
I
the
wasn't going
X-Men.
for political thing. That's just-
X-Woman be damned. She's part of the team called the X. She leads that shit. It's the X-Men. That means she is an X-Man. Fuck you. This X-Men was shit.
But
I
yeah,
wasn't even going for it.
she's always been one of my favorites. One of
She's
my
also
favorite
very powerful,
female
too.
X-Men. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah, my number 9 Storm.
excellent.
My number 9 is the Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
A
with
lot
that.
of people consider that character to just be this ball of rage.
A one-trick pony.
huh.
And I'll admit, when he's fighting, normally that's what it is. But the dichotomy of Bruce Banner and Hulk has led to some of the most interesting and heart-wrenching storylines
Absolutely.
that Marvel has.
Yeah, and they continue apparently
Yeah,
to this day.
It keeps
I
going.
actually cannot think of a low point in Hulk's storylines.
Oh my
They've
lord.
been impressive the whole way around,
Even
in
if
my
it's not,
knowledge
even if
base.
it's not just comics, there's if you've ever seen the Hulk versus movies,
Oh
They're fun.
That one
They're
with
awesome.
Thor?
I wanted to fucking cry.
Yeah.
When Banner was in hell,
Oh yeah, when they separate him out, yeah,
and
and
he
he's stuck.
was like he was dead.
And he
And
wasn't
he
even being
was-
tormented. She actually
No,
gave him.
He
Yeah,
was good.
and it was brutal, but he knew
Yeah.
the day had to be saved.
Oh, it was so sad.
Yeah,
It made me so upset that he had to
and
come
that's
back
the
to
pri-
life.
Yeah, and that's the price he pays.
But it just that character to me is like, first of all, like Hulk's strongest. Like,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Hulk strongest there is.
Bruce smart, but Hulk strongest.
Bruce isn't even the smartest.
He's
But
ranked for sure,
Hulk
top
is,
three.
Hulk
but-
is strongest. Like, what it's like he is the problem solver.
yeah,
It's an iconic thing now. I have an army. We have a Hulk.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bring on your
Great
fucking
line,
army. Like,
yeah.
what is it gonna do? So number 9, man,
Yeah, he's an
Doesn't-
amazing one.
I mean, even though I've got 8 others above him, like, doesn't get much better than Hulk.
Yeah.
What do you got for 8?
My number 8 is Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
All the conflict he's gone through, he's the perfect everyman hero, in my opinion.
Yes,
I mean, he doesn't take on the blue collar aspect like Luke Cage does, but he takes on the coming of age, everything to do with it, romance.
Yeah.
He's got one of the most fucked up lives of all heroes. And Civil War happened. He unmasked himself
Boy,
publicly.
ruins his whole life.
Ruins his
Yeah.
whole life. He's
Anything he built up to that point was
Yeah.
swiftly ruined.
his life is a constant mood swing, bipolar. Oh yay, things are going great. I'm kicking ass, and oh, Gwen Stacy died. All right, I'm doing better. I'm picking myself up. I get married back to Mary Jane, and oh shit, wow, forgot her name. This is pretty painful. Aunt May died. Up and down all the time.
Yep.
Tragedy and celebratory.
See, Spider-Man's on my list, but he's a little low. He's a little
He's
higher up.
a little
fantastic.
It's like, when? When
Well-
did you say it? But yeah, Spider-Man, I can't argue with that.
Plus, excellent gallery of villains.
Yeah,
He does,
have
have a good
some
road
really good
gallery,
villains.
Who do you got, Juicebox?
I have Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
Batgirl.
She's on my list too.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of shit she's went through. I mean,
Yeah.
from going to being Batgirl to being paralyzed and being Oracle.
Who's arguably
Yeah.
even more
Yeah,
useful
proving
than
she can
Batgirl.
still be a good member of the team. And then, gaining the use of her legs again, becoming Batgirl again.
and kicking twice as much ass as she did the last time
I've
she was
always
Batgirl.
wondered, why didn't they give her bat nipples in that movie?
Yeah, George Clooney got him. Why not?
She didn't get bat nipples.
I don't know.
It wouldn't be correct.
Why was she related to Alfred?
Why was she related to Alfred? Why was she a blonde?
It
so
all
many
make no
things.
sense.
Why did she kiss Chris O'Donnell? All this and more in the next episode.
That's
Yeah.
a
But, yeah, I
podcast
can't-
we need to do.
I mean-
everything the movies have done wrong. That we just want to bitch about.
That
for a
would be an
while.
interesting
Yeah, okay,
podcast.
so,
We're going to keep that in mind.
So keep on the lookout for that. That will be a fan's perspective. Everything we find wrong with these movies,
Yeah.
and
That'll
all
be a
movies.
good one.
I don't even think we should. Because we could talk an entire podcast on that movie alone.
I'm sure we could.
So we're not just going to talk about that one.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably just do a whole podcast about separate ones, and at one point we just say a moment of silence for Batman or Batman and Robin. It's
Right.
just
Moment
the
of
whole
silence.
thing.
But it was such a cool party. Yeah. But yeah, so coming soon on Fans Perspective, we're gonna rip apart the movies. But I can't say anything. Like, I'm not even gonna argue with that at all. I can't. It's a good choice. What do you got, Jeff?
My number 8, it's actually kind of like a team because I like them better as a team. Hawkgirl and Hawkman.
Yeah, I guess they fit a little bit as a duo.
Yeah,
more so than individual characters. I like Hawkgirl slightly more, only because she's not.
She has a little bit more to her.
She's not so bullheaded.
Yeah.
Hawkman's usually the one that screws the situation up because he gets too mad.
Right.
She thinks a little more on her head.
That dude's a jealous motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
Very.
But they are fantastic together.
That dude needs to take a minute.
Yeah.
Like, they're like
You
immortals.
figure you've been
you know?
reincarnating and fucking the same chick for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
You'd
right,
be pretty
yeah.
jealous.
They could
too.
be I know,
I
right?
wouldn't be pretty jealous, okay? I'd have been like, look, we're gonna die, we're gonna be reincarnated, I'm gonna fuck you again anyway. So regardless of what you want to do,
But,
it's going
yeah.
down again.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I like Hawkgirl and Hawkman. I mean, I think they're a good team, and I like the characters. I mean, they're
See, I prefer
They're
Harvey
fantastic.
Birdman.
Attorney at law.
Yeah,
I think
Harvey
we
Birdman.
all like Harvey Birdman.
I do. I mean, I hate the shitty cartoon, but I do love me some Harvey
man.
Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Who does it?
Good stuff.
I don't know if you
And
don't.
Mensa,
if
the
you
Mind
don't-
Taker.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you don't like that show, you have no sense of humor.
If you've never heard of it, you need to go on YouTube right now after you're
so
done.
delectably tiny.
After you're done listening to this podcast, just search Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yep.
Cartoon
you will laugh.
Network / Adult Swim.
Get that
So
thing
worth
I
it.
sent you.
And once you watch some episodes, you'll understand what that means.
But yeah, they're a good team though. Like
They
when
really are.
when
And
they're-
the Starcrest Lover thing works.
when they can put all that shit like behind them, especially like when she gets the hots for Mr. Lantern.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like if they can put all that shit behind them, they actually work really really well as a team.
And they're
Yep.
both excellent characters
Yes.
on their own, and they work best together. It's
Yep.
just true.
They do. My number 8 is Doctor Strange,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Stephen Strange.
Sorcerer Supreme.
It's, so like as overpowered as Stephen Strange is, like every situation he gets put in seems to test him.
Yep.
Yeah. It brings a real human aspect to his character that he's so powerful, but it always comes down to his will and ability to overcome a situation,
Right.
more so than his power.
And it takes a real stand-up, like, I mean, it takes a real gem of a person to get Doctor Doom's respect.
No shit.
Yeah,
Stephen
Yeah.
Strange has Doctor Doom's respect.
that he
And
does.
We can't say that about maybe 5 people in the whole Marvel
It's
universe.
true.
You know, but not only does Doctor Doom, like, respect Stephen Strange, he fears him.
Yeah.
And for good fucking reason.
Right.
You know, because
Yeah.
first of all, he beat him out for the title of Sorcerer Supreme.
It's
But-
true. They actually did have. There was a bit of a running between the
Yeah.
two of them almost. I mean, obviously Doom was not a wise choice, but in power and ability, they were kind of up there.
Right. But also, I mean, his story is great.
Yeah, going from like the world's biggest ego, like next
to
to
the
Tony
most humble
Stark,
motherfucker
to
ever.
super humble and the epitome almost of do everything he can to benefit mankind.
Right,
Yep.
and he does at every turn. Whatever he has
Protected
to do.
at all costs.
Yeah. Whatever he has to do, he does without hesitation, which is something that I respect greatly, especially in the comic books,
Yeah.
because almost everybody hesitates,
Yep.
except for Stephen Strange. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's hesitated once or twice, but it doesn't take, you know, he doesn't think very long before he does what he has to do.
Yeah.
So he is my number 8. Who you got for 7?
7, I've got someone who's been a questionable hero, but he counts nonetheless. John Constantine,
Yeah.
the ultimate con man.
But he's always done what he
I
does.
won't say always. He's been selfish sometimes, far
Never
above
in-
the standard
Never really
heroism.
for anything that matters, though.
No,
Like
and
when
when it
shit's
comes
on
down
the
to
line, he's a hero.
what he does most of all is he does the right thing, but turns it to his own advantage at the same time.
I can't blame him for that.
He's
No.
masterful. No, he's selfish, even in doing what he does or saving the world. I mean, he's such an interesting character because you see from his past why he came up to be that.
Right.
and why he has to be that, and why the universe needs him to be that.
Oh yeah, definitely. If it wasn't for Constantine, the DC universe would have been fucked.
Very
once
few
or twice.
people can trick the devil.
Right. He does it
Yeah.
on more than one occasion.
Yeah. Lucifer himself curses the name of Constantine for outsmarting him.
That's gonna be a bad day when he finally.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
When Constantine finally does die,
right? Oh, it's gonna be nasty for him, that's for sure.
some of the punishments like pale in comparison.
But the one good thing that we'll get to look at too, though, is when they do finally kill Constantine. That's not going to be the end of his run because they're going to have that whole thing
man.
once he's dead.
It'll be interesting, I
You
think.
know, and that's
Who you
gonna
got,
be
Juice
fun.
Box?
I got Batman.
Batman. Wow, number 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean, I'm assuming he's on all of our top 10s.
Oh, it's safe
Yeah.
to say.
But, you know, at number 7, like, I'm going to be interested to see who you got 6 above him.
Yeah, I'm curious too. But, I mean, there's
Yeah.
about 1,000,000,001 reasons
But
why
the
he's on
thing
the
about
list.
that, though, is, like, do we even need to talk about this? Like,
Yeah,
it's
not
in the
really.
Batman.
He's the goddamn
Fucking
Batman. That's all there is
Batman,
to it.
enough
Amazing
said.
origin,
Yeah.
badass supreme, super awesome. That's it.
Master of every fucking known martial art.
I, mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else. There's nothing that we can say that we haven't said in previous podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 7, Batman.
He's the motherfucking Batman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What you gonna say about it, bitch? Like,
Exactly.
all right, who do you got?
My number 7 is actually Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Good choice.
All right. Another one who might be on everybody's list. It's a might.
I mean, like, the thing with Spider-Man for me is, like, I've always just loved the conflict, the struggle that he has
Yeah.
as himself, you know?
Balancing
As-
life with superheroism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always been one of the biggest draws for me.
As annoying as that fucking line is nowadays,
Yeah.
it nothing more rings true. My number 7 is Swamp Thing.
Excellent choice.
Uh,
Oh, dear
higher
Lord,
on my
I love
list.
Swamp
best
Thing.
comic book.
He's higher on my
character-
list too. He is.
Best comic book series I've ever read is Alan Moore's Swamp Thing.
Saga of the Swamp Thing is
I still
Incredible.
haven't read it.
fucking
it's incredible.
incredible. I did not put that shit down until I was done.
Yeah.
I didn't read anything else. I didn't want to read anything else. I didn't even play video games, really.
Truly
I
one
was
of the
just
best
reading
comics ever
that
made.
series. It was so good. That character is so well done, so diverse, so instrumental.
Yeah.
It is insane how just crazy awesome Swamp Thing
and,
is.
and what's I think impressive of all, especially in Saga of the Swamp Thing, he is written as a comic unlike anything else I think I've ever read.
Right.
He is not your standard superhero. He's almost a superhero. He's almost a horror icon.
Right.
He's not even necessarily good at all times, but he is without a doubt a hero. And he is
Well, to put it
perfect.
into
I mean, his
perspective-
romance things, his enemies, everything
Right.
is so
When
interwoven.
I read the Saga of the Swamp Thing, put it into perspective for people. Like, John Constantine uses Swamp Thing because Swamp Thing is the only thing that can help in certain situations. Swamp Thing takes over Gotham, and even
Yeah.
Batman's like, guys, we're shit out of luck. We got to give him what he wants.
Yeah.
Like,
And again, in that storyline, the reason he took over Gotham
right,
was because of some photojournalist snapping shots of his love, Abigail,
right.
kissing him and
Right.
calling it Satanism, and she was being persecuted and arrested
Right, she
and
got
all this.
arrested for
It
it.
tackles some hardcore topics.
But it's so well done. Like, if you haven't read it,
and this is the 80s,
Go read
mind
it.
you. This
Go
is
read it.
early to get that deep.
it is one of the most fantastic things I've ever had the privilege of reading,
Yeah.
and subsequently made him one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, the same here, but for even higher listings.
So that's what I got for number 7. Who you got for 5?
My
Or
number,
6, I mean,
or
6.
yeah, I was saying my number 6 is actually Batgirl,
Oh,
Barbara
well,
Gordon.
right then,
up
Batgirl.
higher on my list. The shit she's had to go through, and to still be kicking ass the way she does.
And she kicks some serious ass.
She does. She's got the eidetic memory. She's got all kinds of training and
Right.
ability to just stomp people out or outsmart them. That's what I like about her comics. I think her shtick is more about the intelligent and the intelligence angle.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
If
And
I
she's
can't-
got a great subset of villains.
Just the same way I can't argue with it, and I won't. Who you guys?
My number 6 is Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Yes.
I got to tell you what, probably the most underrated hand-to-hand combatant in the entire
Yeah.
DC,
Yeah,
if not complete comics universe.
She's not near as well trained as Bruce, but she's went toe to toe with
She
Bruce.
can go toe to toe in straight up combat with Bruce Wayne and actually come out on top. The one time they fought, she came out on top. The only thing was Batman did have a tactician angle that she did not see. She did manage to outsmart him in every other way, but he had that one
And, I mean,
thing.
she
She beat out everything else he had coming at her. And
And
yeah,
I mean, she
Batman's
has
better.
that-
But that's just what it is with Batman. It's always the one more thing.
Yeah,
Right.
she's one of the few people with no powers, nothing, that can truly go toe to toe with the Bat.
Yeah.
And what I always liked about her, I mean, yeah, she had that tragic backstory that led to her becoming who she was.
It's a tragedy, baby.
But she always was trying to have, like, that normal life.
Yeah,
Up
she
until-
almost had that
She really
spider
does.
angle.
Up
She
until
really
Dan
does.
DiDio fucked it up, said, oh,
Yeah.
we cannot have
Oh, can't
couples,
marry.
nobody can be married, nobody can be happy.
Stupidest
because
ruling
darkness. So, yeah, it kind of ruined that a little
Really
bit.
ruined
but-
it. I'm amazed they managed to wrap that storyline up well at all, considering.
Right.
Yeah,
But they did.
I stopped right at the end of that arc. So
Yeah.
I didn't.
I don't blame you.
I'm sure I'll finish it one day.
But then again, I mean, you know, I feel that we're gonna say the same thing with anything that has Bat. in
Yeah, I
the name.
know.
Right.
Like if it has Bat, you know it's a tragedy. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
all of them.
nobody who's a Bat like in the Bat family that's like, oh, actually my life's been pretty damn good. Like,
Right.
It's true. And
Unless
most
we're
of them have one or both parents dead.
Unless
Yeah.
you're talking about the new Batgirl comic, and then everything's
Yeah, everything's okay-ish.
yeah.
Even right there, you said ish.
Yeah.
Everything's okay-ish. Something's gonna happen. If it hasn't happened already, something will happen.
Yeah.
Right.
She's gonna break her pinky toe. It's gonna be her favorite pinky toe. Like, it's gonna devastate her psychologically. Like something will happen. Who do you got, Bulge?
Number 6 for me is The Question.
That is a good
the
one.
question.
I like him, you know, because he's a detective. He's a detective like
All about
like
that
Batman.
mystery.
But he's more down to earth. He's I guess you'd say he's Batman without all the fancy gadgets and the money backing him up.
He
And
is
the
like
physical
19.
prowess
and the
and
physical
Yeah,
prep.
he is
I mean,
1950s noir detective Batman.
Yeah. He's more intellect and
Yeah,
he doesn't have
absolutely.
any combat skills really. You know, but that's why I like him. I
Yeah.
mean, 'cause
And he's also got an intriguing level of depth. And I know you haven't read the new 52 stuff
that
with
dude
him.
has too many questions.
But, well, yeah, and they actually explain that in lore in the new 52 with him being part of the Trinity of Sin.
see, I
It's
need to
really
read that.
intriguing,
Yeah,
actually.
I really do need to read that one.
It's good. And, yeah, he is a pretty cool character.
I like Question. I've always liked Question. I liked him ever since I first seen him in Justice League Unlimited. And I was like, this is and that's what really got me into a lot of DC characters is because there were so many of them there and a lot of them
Yeah.
are very underrated.
That's an
And they
underrated
actually-
show.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
show, they portray a lot of heroes really well.
Another one that's on my list was I actually first seen in that show. And we'll get to that later. But
Number 6 for me is The Flash.
Hell yeah.
Specifically Barry Allen.
yeah.
Yeah.
But The Flash, yeah, I enjoy the series that they've got on TV right now.
It's a good show.
But even that doesn't touch the comics as
Right.
far as
Mhm.
what Barry Allen is able to do as far as his abilities, which I think they'll uncover
Oh, yeah.
in the show, or at least that's the way it seems going. But man, that dude's life
Yeah.
Mhm.
is so complex.
Mm-hmm.
For
And it has some
just,
serious dark points.
oh yeah, it does.
And
Man, I don't know what I would do if I found out that I have the ability to save my mother from dying, but doing so causes the worst fucking possible
Yeah.
thing to happen.
Right.
Flashpoint is so.
If you haven't
brutal.
seen the Flashpoint or haven't read the Flashpoint Paradox or anything, do yourself a favor and read that shit.
It was interesting to say the least.
But-
and part
oh.
of me hopes, and I know you haven't seen, none of you have seen the finale for this season yet,
Yeah, I haven't
but
seen
they
it.
make some interesting nods toward the possibility, although it might seem to be nixed. Hard to say, but Flashpoint, they won't be able to cover it the way the books did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also villains.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
The
Flash,
Flash has some of
amazing
the best
villains.
villains. I mean, Gorilla Grodd is
Yeah.
insane.
And the Rogues.
Grodd,
All
the
the
Rogues.
Rogues.
I love Captain Cold, and he's backed up by Heatwave, Mirror Master, Weather Wizard, all these
Golden Glider.
fun, interesting, and more
Mirror
deep than you
Master
might
is
think with their
such
stupid
a
abilities.
prick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mirror Master.
One of my favorite. He's one of my favorite villains. Mirror Master.
He's messed up.
I enjoy him.
Yeah, he may not have made my list, but the Flash is my honorable mention,
But
to
yeah,
say the least.
Flash. He's on my favorites. Who you got for 5?
My number 5 is actually Batwoman.
Well,
One spot higher than
Batwoman.
Juicebox over there, yeah.
Yeah.
That new 52 run just sold me on the character like nothing before, even though it was already amazing.
All right. So for all of you comic book heroes that are outside of our list looking in, tragedy, man. Put some tragedy in your life and you'll make the top 10.
Right.
Like, that's
I
really-
think my entire top 10 is composed of tragic heroes.
Tragedy, baby. That's I mean, enough said. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue with it. Batwoman's awesome.
She
Yeah.
really is.
Who you got, Juicebox number 5?
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Man without fear.
What
Yeah.
a character.
Yeah, I mean, he does pretty much most of what Batman can do, but without the money.
Yeah.
And, you know, granted, he does have that little bit of superpower ability to it, you know.
Yeah,
But,
but it's mild.
That's but that's. I
it's
mean,
just compensating for him being blind for the most
Really,
part.
yeah.
So, I mean,
I want him to beat Kingpin to death.
Yeah.
Well, he's beating him pretty close, but not too.
No, I want him to beat him to death. I would make a horrible superhero, by the way.
You would be like the Punisher, but just so much more of a dick.
Yeah, I'd be so much worse.
Oh, you're crosswalking? Well, guess what? I broke your legs.
I wouldn't
this
break-
just
yes,
goes
I
back
would.
to that first podcast. We all
Yeah, I know, right?
Horrible superhero I would make. If I had superpowers, I would be the for Amanda Waller. As much as I hate her.
Well, we'll form the new Justice Society of Anti-AA Ron.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Fuck Superman. We've got a new asshole to deal with. He's top priority. I'd be dead so quickly. I mean, unless I was Superman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have probably broken the world in 2 by now.
Maybe started something called the Crime Syndicate.
Why'd
know,
you do
something
that?
like that.
Felt good. Fuck you. Had a bad day.
Ram my dick through the earth
Yeah.
because I can.
Who do you have number 5?
My number 5 is Plastic Man.
Really?
Yeah, I like
That
Plastic Man.
is
Plastic
intriguing.
Man.
He's interesting. I
I
like
did
he
not.
is.
I did not see this guy on anybody's.
You're
top
really
10.
good for those offbeat choices that are
Plastic
still
Man.
good ones.
I like I said, with DC, most of my favorites are the off the beaten path heroes.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean,
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man does exemplify the campy one, the campy choice,
Definitely.
and as we've shown, or you've shown, you like the campy
I
ones.
do. You know, I like how, you know, he was originally a criminal. You know, he
Yeah.
was originally, you know, he wasn't really one of Batman's villains, but he was part of the Kite Gang.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, someone that Batman went after. He fell into a vat of chemicals, and boom, got his powers that way. And Batman kind of took him under his wing, you know, vouched for him.
Yeah.
And because of that, he got to become a hero.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's actually one of the minor heroes in the Justice League.
Yeah, and I enjoy him.
He's on the B team.
You know, he's an interesting, funny character to me, you know, so. That's my number 5.
How much does that suck being in the Watchtower lunchroom?
Do they have like the separate tables? Like they've got the 7 chairs and
Yeah.
table at the front of the room, and then the rest of them are like,
How much
oh,
does-
I guess we'll see it
How
there.
much does it suck for that guy that both his nicknames are just terrible? You know,
Right.
you got Plastic Man, and before that, he was Eel O'Brien.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
know, right?
Not a
You
good
got the
name.
short end of the stick twice.
Say Eel O'Brien.
Eel O'Brien.
Sounds like Sneakers O'Toole.
Sneakers O'Toole.
Yeah, just, who's that? Eel O'Brien, the estranged brother of Conan O'Brien. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel being in the Watchtower. Like, oh my God, is that like? Do you think they're starstruck?
Probably.
Holy fuck, guys, that was Batman. Like,
I don't know. I think if I was them, I'd just be like, man, fuck these guys.
right?
Seriously.
You ever
But
think
they're
that maybe
so
some of them-
nice.
you ever think that maybe some of them B team
Well,
guys are like?
Some.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's anybody accused Batman of being a nice guy?
Yeah, it's
I'm just
true.
saying, like, you
But
think
Barry and Hal are
Like,
nice
oh,
guys.
Bruce,
right?
so you
Well,
suck
Barry
at
Allen's
douche.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
But like, how insignificant would you feel? Like, can you imagine anybody, like, being a water-based and being, like an ocean-based hero? Like, I got this, and it's like Aquaman's already on it. Man, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, I mean, like Plastic Man, it's like
Like, you guys
he's
ever
got
seen-
superpowers, and it's like, oh, Batman's got it.
you guys ever
Yeah.
think of, like,
True.
Little Nicky? Like, you ever seen that?
Yeah.
And, like, he's, like, choking him in the water, and he's like, damn you, Kevin Spacey, you take all my parts. Like, you think that some of them B-team superheroes are like, man, fuck the Flash. I live in Star City, damn it. Stop fucking my shit.
Yeah.
I would.
Right.
I would feel that way.
Be a little sour, I guess.
Number 5 is Kevin Spider-Man.
Kevin Spider-Man.
It's a little Friends reference, but yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's I was introduced to Spider-Man very early on as a kid. Was
That
bought
animated series.
bought some comic books, started reading them, and then then there was the animated series, of course, when we were growing up.
Which was
and,
amazing.
Yep.
Man, Venom just was one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
And from
Hell
that
yeah.
villain alone, I really wanted to know more about Spider-Man. So I asked my mom, for Christmas every year, I was getting Spider-Man comics. And I started reading and just took off from there. I don't
Yeah.
love the character, but, for more than just nostalgia's sake, Spider-Man's an awesome character. Like, he's got
Yeah.
so much that goes on.
Absolutely.
And it got even better when, like, the Ultimate Universe came around. Ultimate
Yeah.
Universe Spider-Man is
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah. And then, apparently, I haven't read any of his work yet. Miles Morales apparently carries the torch very well. So I'm interested in seeing that one come out. But
Yeah, I haven't read
I've
it
read
yet.
a good 10 volumes, or 8 or 9 at least, of Ultimate Spider-Man. And yeah, again, amazing work. Same dichotomy. Everything works wonderfully.
Yeah, then they added a lot of nice twists. They did the events,
Oh, yeah.
but they added a nice twist to change it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number 5.
Yep. And then my number 4 is actually Invincible. Mark Grayson.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an Image Comics.
Yeah.
We've brought him up before, but he, in my opinion, and this is gonna make people sour, I'm sure, he does the balance of everyday life to superheroism better than Spider-Man to me. Not that he's a more focused hero or anything like that. His problems just feel closer to some of the average people. He's
Yeah.
like, what would really happen if you were a superhero? It's rarely that there's all these villains that are always constantly out to get you, so much as shit just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's not always something you can do anything about.
Right. And
Yeah, it's like Peter Parker never had to deal with his father murdering,
The Justice League, for
of
all
his
intents and
world,
purposes. Yeah.
and deciding he wanted to take over the entire planet, and then murders him almost because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to, help.
He's got a whole different kind of daddy complex.
Yeah.
Well, and that character, too, which, again, we've said this a lot, and I'm sure we'll say this many more times as the fans' perspective rolls. If you haven't read, read.
Yeah.
Read
And
it.
again, Invincible was written by the man who did Walking Dead,
Right.
Robert Kirkman. Same amount of brutality, less depressing.
Yeah, there's a lot of humor.
A lot,
It's-
a lot less depressing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a nice line of satire. It's a
Yeah.
very serious comic, but they've
Yeah.
got a villain that makes fun of the Rhino, Elephant Man.
Yeah, he's the
And
elephant.
he's
yeah.
just a big elephant, and then early on in the comics, Mark fights him several times, and then a few volumes later, he's like, "I don't even remember that guy. What are you talking
And then he
about?"
refers to him as a Rhino ripoff.
As a Rhino ripoff, direct homage to the Rhino
Well,
himself.
there's a point too where they show Mark coming back from an alternate dimension, and Spider-Man's hand is literally coming out of the portal and he's shooting webbing to
That's
get him back.
awesome. I missed that.
And that was right after that he refers to him as a chief Rhino.
Yeah. And then another thing too that I agree with, as much as I like Mary Jane and I like Gwen Stacy, Adam Eve to me is a better character than both of them. And so the back and forth romance between the two of them, or it's not even really back and forth, but it's very solid work and it feels like a real
I
relationship
was
on
gonna
the
say,
page.
it feels like a real
Yeah,
life
I mean,
relationship.
when he does dumb shit or just completely fucks the relationship up, she calls him out on it. She
Yeah.
leaves
There
him
are
when
consequences
he's-
for
yeah,
actions.
right.
and it never feels too much like it was too much. And there's always they really feel like real people.
Yeah, it feels like and that I think that's really the best thing about that comic is that everything that happens feels like an appropriate response.
Yeah, even though it's all these crazy superpowered people, it feels like realism.
Right. Which is hard to achieve in comics, and they do.
Yeah.
And I mean, in that comic, unless they're a villain like the Maulers, they're like
Yeah.
hippie clones.
Yes, exactly.
If typically if you die in the Invincible world, you're dead.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
really not the typical
heroes that
comeback.
you like, you're gonna go from liking a hero in that series to hating them, to
Yeah.
loving them again, and then they're probably gonna die a brutal death.
Yeah, brutal. Like
Well-
getting their spine ripped out.
Yeah, I mean-
practically.
There's something that we all know. I mean, brutality is not going to be lacking if you read
No.
that
Yeah.
comic.
Right.
That or Walking
It's
Dead.
there.
It's so brutal.
Well, The Walking
Ooh.
Dead is The Walking Dead.
Yeah. But just it's incredible, and
Yeah.
Invincible is truly just one of my all-time favorite characters.
What do you got? Number 4.
My number 4 is Rorschach.
Rorschach
Oh yes.
from The Watchmen.
Yep.
It's I tell you what, man. Comic books like to give you an inside scoop as to what's going on inside the heads of the various heroes. I don't even want to know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't want to know. I just want to
Yeah.
see what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
Well,
a
I mean,
fucked up character.
Half the shit he says, just his narration.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's brutal.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But he's doing shit that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best thing about he gets shit done, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a character, hero or otherwise, that just gets more shit done than he
Well,
does.
not only that,
Yeah.
how many heroes can you really say refuse to compromise what they believed in wholeheartedly and died
Even in the
because
face
of it?
of death.
Yeah, complete annihilation.
Refused to compromise his
yeah,
morals.
he didn't give a fuck. Rather die.
The
And
end
did.
does not
Yeah.
justify the means.
Mhm.
He that I mean.
And I agree with him. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't kill millions of people.
Billions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
No,
agree.
you're right.
And he very nearly ranks on mine.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Rorschach's a great character.
Yeah.
I think one of the things too, like the reason I like Rorschach so much is that like he's one of the only people in the entire comic universe, both DC, Marvel, what have you, that doesn't give a fuck what the situation is, doesn't give a fuck what people think. He will say what has to be said,
Yeah.
which isn't something people do. Usually
No.
people are looking out for other people's feelings or this, that, or the other. Rorschach is just Rorschach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
gets shit done, no bullshit. Everything he does was with a purpose, man. That's a great addition.
And I
To
felt
your
like
top 10.
his origin story, is so...
It's a tragedy,
It's
baby!
It's realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Like, he starts out as just this guy who wants to be a hero, and then sees, what happens to this little girl,
Yeah.
and it just pushes him over the edge, and he fucking snaps.
Yeah, and his horrible childhood.
And then he
doesn't
decides
help.
right there that, just taking them out and having them arrested is not enough.
Yeah. He's almost Batman pushed over the edge.
He is. It's what
That's a
Batman
scary
should have been
thought.
at some point.
Yeah.
Batman pushed over the edge of scary thought.
Yeah.
If he's not already. Like,
Yeah.
He walks that line.
yeah, he does. What do you got for number 4?
My number 4 is Green Lantern, Hal Jordan.
Oh, hell
Hal
yes.
I mean, I guess I could go with Guy Gardner too, but I like him better as a Red Lantern
Yeah.
I do too.
than I did as a Green Lantern.
I mean, I like Guy just fine, but Hal Jordan is a lot more deep than Guy.
Yeah.
He's got a very complicated history. It kicked off strong,
Well,
character-wise, when he got in that car wreck because
Yeah.
he was drunk and killed someone.
right.
Right.
And it tore him apart. And it led him to become worthy of the Green Lantern ring.
And Hal Jordan was my first Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah, and I'm attached to him for the same reason.
I'm not a huge fan of John Stewart.
I like
and
him,
for the reasons
but...
why you said.
yeah, the
like-
Daily Show sucks.
You know, and I'm really hoping. I mean, I know we've all heard the rumors that they're going to use Jon Stewart for the Justice League movie. I
really
kind of
hope
hope they
not.
don't.
Yeah.
I really do.
Don't get me wrong. Last Green Lantern didn't exactly do a whole lot for me.
I know, but I would rather see
it would be
them
nice to
take
see
another
Hal.
crack at Hal Jordan than go straight to Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Green Lantern is my number 4.
I don't think that Jon Stewart's going to do anybody any favors towards liking the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he really is just the least likable.
Of the lanterns,
Of the
to my-
lanterns.
or the main Earth Green
No,
Lanterns.
of the Lanterns.
I don't know about that. There's
I
some
like Sinestro more
there's some
than
less
I like.
likable
Kilowog
lanterns.
is my favorite Green
Kilowog's
Kilowog.
awesome.
But you know, that's
My number 4 is Thor
Thor.
Yeah.
from the realm of Asgard.
Yeah, I can see
Mostly because of my fascination with Norse mythology.
that.
Yeah. And the
Um,
Marvel spin on it is pretty
and
interesting.
the Marvel spin is really, really well done.
Yeah.
But more than that, I like to see arrogant characters get knocked down. Thor gets knocked
Thor
down
is
a lot.
perfect for
Yeah.
that.
He
Thor
does.
gets knocked down a lot. But there always seems to be some kind of payoff.
Yeah.
He
to
learns
his-
a lesson.
Not just for him though. Every single one of his adventures causes ripples effects of the entire Marvel universe. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time something happens, it seems to better the Marvel universe as a whole, which makes for extremely compelling stuff when you're reading comic books.
True.
Like if you want big events, read Thor.
Mhm.
Huge shit's going down all the time.
Yeah.
This is at cosmic levels
Yeah.
constantly. Plus the just pure level of different characters that show up in Thor comics. He's almost always got a guest.
Yeah.
He's almost always got his villains are just over the top awesome. Not as far as in-depth character, but I mean if you want to read a sequence of fighting that's gonna just really just capture your imagination, read Thor.
Yeah.
And like I said, for the most part, I think it's mostly because of my fascination with Norse mythology. But Thor is so high up on my list because I always enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's never a point in time where I've read a Thor comic and been like, always have enjoyed it thoroughly.
And something else that's really worthwhile in that is the brotherly
Yeah.
relationship.
Loki?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Loki
mean-
is a phenomenal villain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what he is.
phenomenal
Like
character.
almost
He's-
all the time he's a villain. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he's more like
I'll
one of
even
the top 5.
transcend villain. Like, he's just a phenomenal character.
Yeah.
And he is, absolutely. But the brotherly, I hate you, but I have to try to help you.
Right.
It's a very complex relationship that does resemble familial problems
Right.
in real life. Again,
I mean, my brother's never tried to kill me and take my father's throne.
exactly. No, I wouldn't call it. Let's call it an exaggeration
Yeah.
of
It's an
what is-
extreme exaggeration, but
Yeah.
I love the character. I think that Thor, I mean, even though he's a woman now, is
that's okay. Go on.
Thor, like he's
Thor
still
the
alive.
Unworthy is still
Yeah,
the same
Thor,
guy.
Thor the Unworthy is still the same guy, but actually, it kind of makes him even more of a character because it's adding more depth.
Yeah, to have
I mean-
him fall from grace.
Well, not even just a fall from grace, but because he's like, it's more than just a fall from grace. He doesn't have all reliable anymore
Nope.
to get him out of shit.
No, he doesn't.
You know.
Yeah, and that puts
Like-
him through a whole nother realm of possible trouble and also a redemption arc, which I can't say he's done all that often.
Right. So, I'm gonna be looking forward to reading even more of this character. But I love the character. I love everything that they've done.
Yeah.
Just that's why it's so high on my list.
Yeah.
What do you got for number 3?
My number 3 is Wonder Woman. She was higher on my list this time because, well, my fascination, for some of the same reasons you put down, your fascination's with Norse mythology, with Thor.
Right.
Mine lies with Greek. Always has.
Yeah. I'm
I have
also
a
fan.
huge preference for Greek mythology, and Wonder Woman is this excellent character. She has strong morals. She's willing to kill if it needs to happen. She will do everything in her power to save people, to do everything she can. I mean, that's really it. She's not willing to compromise in the face of getting justice done.
Which is, I mean, she is a good character.
Yeah.
I've never been like, I just fucking hate Wonder Woman.
I won't say she had a
Right.
great start with the bondage being her weakness thing, because
Well,
that was
no,
not
but-
strong. But
Let's-
since
but,
then,
I mean,
since
Bronze
I don't
Age
know,
comics,
90s,
I mean-
90s onward, she's become a lot of her own hero. And it's really worked out, especially since the New 52 happened.
Pretty sure everybody but Batman in Bronze Age was just
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
awful. Just awful. I mean, just like, Aquaman, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, there was a
I-
time there.
Whales!
The whales!
Damn
Yes.
super friends.
Yeah, the Super Friends. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Useless, like...
What's funny though is that in that show, okay, we got the Hall of Justice, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, all of them, Aquaman, the bottom of the barrel. You flip it, go to the Legion of Doom. Who's leading the Legion of Doom?
Right,
Aquaman's villain.
right, Black Manta.
Yep.
What does that say?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Solomon Grundy was just... Solomon Grundy.
I know.
Dropped the ball on that.
Drop the ball
Yeah.
on that one.
Those were so funny. I think I enjoyed those little, like, comedic commercials for Cartoon Network more than I did the actual show. The Super
Right.
Friends.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't
Like-
really care much for Super Friends. It's kind of low on the animated superhero stories
Yeah.
in animation.
No, it just furthered my hatred for Superman.
Yeah.
He was the only person who ever got anything done in that show.
Yeah.
For the glory of Superman in the Hall of Justice.
Yeah. Like, ladies and gentlemen, Superman at the Hall of Justice. Like, fuck.
Oh, and two little kids that we don't know why they're here.
Yeah, why the fuck were they anywhere? If you didn't see that show, don't watch it. It's infuriating. What do you got? Number 3, Juicebox.
Wolverine.
I'm gonna go ahead and that's also my number 3 is the Wolverine.
Awesome.
Mine too.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
Number 3 is the Wolverine. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, first of all, it's a tragedy, baby. Like,
That's been the
Yeah,
thing.
it is a theme.
so
yeah.
I mean, you don't get a whole lot more tragic.
Right? He can't marry or sleep with a woman without pretty much her being murdered or
Yeah.
something bad
Yeah.
happening to her.
Like,
That's the
after
truth.
a while, like especially for those people who like know his backstory and like know his life story, like how does he like hey baby, you want to go on a date? No, I feel like living. Ah, fuck.
I don't know.
You're right,
Can't
I
blame you.
can't blame you.
In the
See you
current,
later?
in the current Deadpool run, Storm still slept with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They
Well, she's gonna die. Like,
yeah.
She just signed her death.
she just must be okay with it.
yeah. Deadpool walks in, asks Wolverine for help, and Wolverine's in bed.
Okay.
And Wolverine like asks him to leave, and then he gets ready to walk out, and he's like, "Hey, Storm," and like she's under the blanket, and she's like, "Hi, Wade."
That's great.
That's amazing.
But I mean, we were talking about this before the podcast started. Especially in the Marvel universe, like Frank Miller's Wolverine run,
Yeah,
some of the best storyline I've ever read.
that Japan storyline
Yeah,
is
Japan
incredible.
storyline.
Yeah.
And they did a surprisingly good adaptation with the Wolverine.
And let's get something straight here too. I was also a Wolverine fan before he became just legendary.
Yeah,
iconic
Yeah.
status.
Before Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, just
We were fans before Hugh
Pre
Jackman.
Hugh
Yep.
Jackman, man. Like, which don't get me wrong, Wolverine has been big ever since he showed up.
Yes.
But I have been, just infatuated with the character.
Well, I mean, he
It's the
took
best
on the
way to put it.
Hulk. Like his
Yeah.
first appearance, he takes on the fucking Hulk.
Well, and the Wendigo.
And yeah, and the
there
Wendigo.
you go.
And he survives it.
Yeah,
Like that right there just skyrockets you into badassdom right there.
true.
But he just.
Well, that helps. He has fucking claws popping out of his hand. That's
Well,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Some mean claws.
Right?
well, I think the biggest thing for, like, everybody is that, like, superheroes are larger than life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude barely's over 5
He's
feet.
he's like
Yeah,
what,
I know,
5'2"?
Like, he's like
He
5'4".
is short.
He's like
Yeah.
4,
He
5'4",
is shorter
5'5",
than most people.
But he's like the toughest son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why they call him the Wolverine. I
Well,
mean,
and not to mention, like,
Small, but
when
don't
he's
mess
not,
with him.
When he's not feral, he's one of the most tactically sound individuals that the Marvel Universe has
Yep.
to offer.
then he gets pissed off, and
Yeah.
it all just goes out the fucking
And he's a
window.
gruff asshole, but he cares about the people he you know.
Oh yeah.
is-
Well, he
Absolutely, yeah.
genuinely cares. Once you strip away the jaded Wolverine,
Well, I mean, he's practically immortal. I mean, not that recent events have have done anything to aid that.
Apparently
thought.
not. But which actually kind of a cool segue. If you haven't read Old Man Logan, that's a pretty good series.
Yeah, I've been wanting to for a while. So.
I did read that. Pretty good stuff. Read it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
will.
read Old Man Logan. It's really a nice. It's a nice little story.
What happens when he's another 200 years older?
Yeah. What happens when everybody else is gone?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much just him, which is sad because that's how we all figured it'd end up, and then they show you what happens when that happens, and it's kind of sad. You know, it's tragedy, baby. It's just, but it leads to you getting an even more in-depth look inside the head of Wolverine, which is, you know, I can't ask for more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, I speak for all of us when I say that he's very warranted.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
he will do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. He does.
Well,
what needs
that's
to get
the
done.
X-Force, you know,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
whole point.
And in fact, he recently there was a poll. Well, not a poll because not an opinion, but they did a study on it, and it turns out he is the one that has the highest kill count of heroes and villains within the Marvel universe. He has killed more than
Go
any
figure.
other
Yeah,
person.
no shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, when
And
you've lived
next
for
to
500
he's next
years
to
long-
Punisher. I mean,
When you've lived for 500 years longer than everybody else has,
yeah, it's true.
I mean, who
He gets
knows?
shit done.
Like, yeah, I mean, like the same thing I told you about Rorschach earlier, man. He just gets shit done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like when like Cyclops and everybody else is bitching about
Well,
what's
I don't
doing,
know if we
he's
can do that.
whooping ass. Like,
Fucking Cyclops.
yeah, fuck Cyclops. But yeah, I love Wolverine. I think he's
Yeah.
just phenomenal.
He
Who
may
you
not
got-
have ranked top 10 for me, but he is absolutely in the next top 5.
Who do you got number 10?
Or
Or
one,
number 2.
something like that.
Who you got number
My
2?
number 2 is Batman.
Also,
Yeah,
Batman.
Batman.
Batman's
Yeah.
my number 2.
Same here.
Yeah.
Who you got?
My number 2 is Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good here. The Deadpool then.
As we've said before, Batman, enough said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's really
fucking
true.
Batman.
We went over Deadpool. I
Yeah.
mean, but do you have anything? I mean, because I love Deadpool.
I do too.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not on my top 10. He's not on my
Yeah.
top 10 favorites. But I think it's because I don't think I've read as much as you guys have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read most everything except for Deadpool core.
I've got a lot to go, but I've read enough to
I mean,
know.
Yeah.
I almost didn't put Batman on my top 10 just because it's fucking Batman. But, you know, if you're a comic book fan, there's just certain characters that you like.
If you don't
Yeah.
like Batman, go
Yeah,
fuck
if you don't
yourself.
like Batman, it's kind of hard to call yourself a comic
If you're
fan.
not,
Yeah,
if
it
you're
seems
not,
that way,
if
yeah.
you're not a Batman fan, you haven't read shit.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't like Batman, it's just because
He's
you're
got
going.
so many
And
classics.
I think it's
Yes,
because, too, it's kind of like the same reason, like, with, like, the X-Men and Spider-Man. Like, one of the biggest things, you know, most of us, we all grew up with the 90s cartoon.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Which was so
Batman,
good.
the animated
So good.
series.
You know?
Well, but
Still stands, in my opinion, as the best animated comic series.
The only thing I have to say is, bar none, and by far, the most successful comic book character ever is Batman. And
Yeah.
there's one
Yeah.
reason for that. You know, because he's the fucking
He's
best.
that good.
Yeah.
Like, he is the motherfucking Batman. If you don't like Batman, that you're just being some anti-establishment asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go with the flow. Fuck you. Batman's awesome. No matter how you slice it. I don't care what you are. Batman's got something for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, Batman.
So yay, Batman.
Yeah.
But Deadpool is also, I mean, he wouldn't, even if he would have cracked my top 10, he wouldn't have been that high, but I can certainly understand why you would
Yeah.
put him there.
Well, I
He
mean,
deserves the
he
spot.
mixes the perfect balance of humor and brutality. You
Yeah.
know?
Humor, depth, it's all there.
And he's just one of those great
Can't fucking
characters.
wait for that movie, man.
Yeah.
I know,
That is
right?
so
That's going to be
exciting.
great. We're going to have to all four go see that together
Hell
so that we
yes.
can do the podcast like that night.
Sounds like a
Oh, that's gonna be good.
I'm gonna be completely down for that. All right, so this is where we find out who's everybody's favorite.
Yep.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Swamp Thing. He really is. Alec Holland is just one of the best. No, to me, the
Not
best.
Alec Holland,
Oh, it's not. Really.
you bastard.
Alec Holland? What?
No.
Shut up. Okay, so,
He's the Swamp
anyhow,
Thing. It's not
that's
Alec
his
Holland.
name.
No, it's not.
Back off.
His name is Swamp Thing.
You haven't read enough Swamp Thing then.
His name is Swamp Thing.
Okay, so
Well, didn't they do that whole bit in the New 52 where they said one version of Swamp Thing that came back wasn't him?
actually, in the New 52, what happened was they didn't change the mythology of it at
No,
all,
not
per
at all.
se. They just showed that basically the Green ripped the soul, or they copied the soul of Alec Holland as he died, imprinted it upon the avatar of the Green body.
Okay, so it was his.
So basically,
soul.
it was him,
Okay.
except that it was a copy of him. Now,
Yeah,
in the
that
New
part really
52,
confused me.
the reboot of the New 52, Alec Holland comes back to life.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did read that.
And basically, the mantle passes to the real thing.
Yeah.
And because he's the real thing, he can embody the Green in even more powerful ways.
Fantastic.
But he's a character that has so many philosophical, moral, and just plain awesome edges. He's complicated. He's good.
They tie so much mythology from so many different things in
yeah,
Swamp Thing.
and he's always central to the DC's core lore.
Yeah.
He is. He's central to it. More so in New 52 than ever, but always.
Yeah.
And when anyone looks for someone who can truly take on the supernatural forces that threaten the world,
Swamp Thing's
Swamp Thing's one of the
things-
first choices.
He's always kind of the go-to. Like, he's kind of
Yeah.
like the problem solver that the Hulk is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the supernatural Hulk
Yeah.
with more smarts than rage.
Yeah, but I mean, just the sheer, like, the different proponents that go into making a Swamp Thing comic are just, like, mind-boggling. How much it has to go into writing, and it really shows through the character. Who's your number one, Juice Box?
My number one is Invincible.
Well, all right then.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
I want you to
As stated.
number one though.
Yeah, I mean, mainly because it's one of the few characters that I feel like has never had a bad story arc.
And I agree.
I mean, it's just been consistently good. There's always a twist you don't see coming,
Yeah.
and they always resolve it in a way you don't quite expect.
Yeah.
And if it is something you did see coming, they put such a twist on it that you don't even care.
Yeah, it's always satisfying.
And not only that, but
Good stuff.
he's one of those characters who makes mistakes, but when he makes them, he typically learns from them.
Yeah, he doesn't really
And-
repeat from his mistakes.
Yeah. And he tends to, like, he works directly for authority figures in the government a lot.
Yeah, but he doesn't
But-
always take kindly to them.
Exactly. He's not going to blindly follow orders he doesn't believe in.
No.
He will stand up to them even if he takes a brutal beating.
beat
for
the
it.
hell out of one particular government agent because of it.
Mhm.
He's an impressive character. That's why he
is
was my
indeed
number 4.
He is indeed an impressive character. I won't argue with that.
I
It's
feel
always
he needs more
It's always
spotlight.
such a joy to listen to people's like favorites and why,
Mhm.
which I'm sure we're gonna get a treat out of this next one.
Yeah, he's always got the unexpected. Let's hear it, Bulge.
Who's your number one?
My number one is Gambit.
That's a good choice.
He's
I think
always
the
been
Raging Cajun.
one of my favorite characters. You know,
For nostalgia's sake, if I were to pick, like, nostalgically who my favorite might have been, him and Nightcrawler are, like, 1 and 2.
right. Like, I mean, I've always loved his power set, and like, yeah, he got a little OP when they started delving in more into the kinetic power
Yeah.
and shit. I
He
mean,
got a huge.
he was able to fucking time
He
travel.
got, he got
I
a
mean-
massive upgrade
Yeah,
in power set when like they really like when
started
the
thinking
Marvel
about it.
well, when the Marvel universe decided that the powers needed more than just your face value,
Yeah.
when they started like really diving into what people should be able to do,
Yeah.
holy shit did his power set get
Right.
like, more expansive.
But
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been like one of my favorite characters, and like if we ever do like a top 10 romances,
Him and
like
Rogue.
him and Rogue is going
Yeah.
to be like in my top 5.
It's great.
I
It's
mean,
well
because
done.
like there's that struggle with him, and like you can say that with like pretty much all the X-Men,
yeah.
that they all have that struggle. But
Yeah,
like,
that's why it's one of the best comics ever
yeah,
made.
exactly. But like to me, Gambit and Wolverine are like this as far as my favorite X-Men.
Yeah.
Like they're bam, But yeah, I always liked Gambit more. I
People
always
that like
liked the dark.
to walk that moral line.
Exactly. He's he's a good guy, but he's not afraid to do the things that are
What needs to
questionable.
be done.
Exactly. I mean, he's not going.
No,
around
he's more
killing
about
people.
the thieving than he is the
Exactly.
killing.
But I mean,
He doesn't like killing though.
no,
He's not fond of
He
it, but
doesn't. No,
he
he's-
understands the need.
Flat out doesn't like it. I mean, he doesn't. He's not a trigger man. He will, but he's not really. He
Yeah.
doesn't really fit that
Exactly.
mold.
But yeah, my number one's Gambit.
That's an interesting choice, like always.
My number one's Iron Man.
Yeah,
I kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that coming a
Without-
mile away.
Just, I've never been so enthralled. by
He's had a lot
character.
of compelling storylines.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
I recently reread Demon in a Bottle for the first time since
Demon in a
I
Bottle
read
is
the comics
fantastic.
that I found in some person I was hanging out with Sadik. It's been so long I don't even know who it was.
Demon in a Bottle is fantastic.
It's an incredible storyline. It's one of those, honestly, few Marvel stories that tends to deal with something that is a true threat in real life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like something, alcoholism. This is something that the world knows is horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm
It
not
feels close to home almost.
right.
Yeah.
Even
I'm
if you
not-
don't have experience with it.
Right.
Well, and especially like his storylines often do revolve around real world problems, and he deals with them in such a real world way that kind of like the way you talked about with Invincible. What would this is what life would be like if you really were a superhero. Well, Iron Man's as close to the as that gets for the Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
As especially with the core characters of what Marvel's based around.
Yeah.
What would happen if a guy just decided to create a fucking suit and start fighting crime?
Weaponize.
Like his life goes to shit
Yeah.
after he becomes Iron Man. Much much
lot of
like,
bad things
much
happen.
Like Spider-Man.
And
Like,
it ends
his
in a
life went to shit.
spiraling arc that winds up with him practically being a villain.
Yeah, well, right now he's practically a villain.
No, I
And-
mean, he really is basically a villain, but that's thanks to mind trickery rather than his outright motivation. I'm just referring to, like, Civil War.
Right. Well, Civil War is.
He
but,
took easily the quote-unquote evil side of that fight.
But even then, though, the way he explains it, I mean, I can't.
No,
Even in that particular storyline, I can't get behind his way of thinking. Even though he
No.
is my favorite, and I take his side more often than not in that one. But even the way he explains why he does what he does makes you almost believe him.
yeah,
Like, that it is the right thing to do.
he has reasoning,
And
but
his intellect is incredible.
Mhm.
Every problem that they put forward, he solves it. It's not very often, and he usually takes some kind of cosmic power that nobody can fucking understand. Let alone, him taking it on by himself. But there's not a whole lot of problems he doesn't think his way out of.
true.
Whether he has to invent something new or he has to take an old approach, he figures so much shit out. And plus, I don't know if there is a more influential person to the Marvel Universe than Tony Stark. He's in every single Avenger team.
Yeah, and he's as much of a plot device as he is a character, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying that as a bad thing. I'm
No,
saying
not
that
at
his
all.
character is so prevalent and useful and sensible that he's just the perfect choice for it more
Yeah.
often than not.
Love him, hate him. He's essential to the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
Well, like I said, I like
Absolutely.
it when arrogant characters get smacked down.
And that.
and that's him too.
Yeah, that's him too.
That's in one of my top. If we did a top 10 rivalries, him and Mandarin, man, they just
Yeah, it's an
have
interesting
had
choice.
some of the most crazy battles that
Yeah,
I've ever read. Like, just the science versus magic is so well done
it's pretty awesome.
in those fights, which is why I hated Iron Man 3. Didn't hate the movie, I hated that.
I think we
Yeah.
all hated that aspect.
I
loved
did.
it.
I for a brief moment, yes, I'll admit to some fanboy scorn toward it.
But we all.
But by
knew.
the time
you mean the shit
I'd thought
sandwich
about
on the
it,
shit plate?
by the time I thought about it for about an hour after the movie, I became more and more okay with it because I realized what it was. an excellently written plot.
Yeah.
Also, and they've proven it. Proven it might be a strong word, but they have already shown the Mandarin himself is around.
Yeah, but the
I'm
problem
waiting
is,
I'm waiting to see it. Well, hopefully we'll get Iron Man 4 someday.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The
I
problem
know,
is
and
we're
I
not getting
understand
another
that
Iron
part,
Man. The
but-
most we can hope for is he maybe would show up in a Doctor Strange movie sometime. You know, magic versus.
I would love to
but
see
even
that.
then, that's
If
very.
he shows up in Doctor Strange
You're just gonna lose
with
it.
no Tony Stark around, I'm gonna fucking kill Kevin Feige.
No,
You'll die tonight.
I think that's and we discussed this in that big 3.5 hour argument we had. That I think that's the perfect place for him to be introduced, but not as
No, he should.
not as Doctor Strange's villain, but the character himself. His influence should be felt within Doctor Strange, considering that he's supposed to be a master of the mystic arts. Even if they just name drop him again, but as a real threat possibility rather than just the abductor of Ben Kingsley's British drunk. Which was awesome. It really was.
That one shot was good. If you didn't see the
Hail
Marvel
to,
one
or,
shot,
what was it?
Yeah.
Hail to the King, I think it was called.
yeah.
Yep.
If you didn't see that Marvel
Excellent.
one shot, you should check that out.
It's on the
because that was-
Blu-ray of Thor: The Dark World.
Yep, that was pretty good stuff. But yeah, Iron Man, I just, have been just fascinated from the word go with that character. And hasn't been a storyline that I've hated. So,
Hmm?
not one.
There you go.
But that is our top 10 heroes. Does good stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
a lot of interesting picks.
Should have learned a lot because I know I sure did.
Yeah.
Especially about, my fellow podcasters. But yeah, as always, I think is what's going to be with our top 10s. A lot of similarities.
And some staggering differences in the top.
differences. I mean, I think I was the only person who had Iron Man on their list.
Yeah.
I also was, and I think I was one I had the Flash on my list, which I don't think anybody else did.
He really is my number 11. Those top 10 were better to me.
Which is, that's why we do these.
Yep.
But it has been fun, and until the next time, I think that's going to wrap up this edition of the Fan's Perspective. Enjoy our top 10s. If you didn't enjoy them, whatever, comment below. Tell us your top 10. If we care enough, we'll mention you. If not, well then fuck off.
Yeah,
'cause
give us
this
your
is our
thoughts.
This is our podcast.
Give us your thoughts. We'll give you yours. Or ours.
Yeah, or yours.
Or yours. We'll make them yours.
We'll
How about that?
Yeah. For the BAPN, I'm Double A Ron.
Westicles.
Juice box.
And Uber Bulge.
Thanks for listening.